Hello everyone and welcome to this video where we're going to be talking about the oil spill update that just hit Stormworks. So follow along as we explain the new parts and showcase what this update does. Now this vessel is a prime example of what can be done with the new update. So if you see here, we have these booms that protrude and they have pumps that are attached to the fluid intakes on the booms or arms, and what'll happen is it'll get processed into a tank that's just below us, and you can end up filtering the oil. So this creation was modified by Sheppy5, who's helping me run the Discord. I just kind of painted it and gave it a little bit more of a OMA touch, but it is in progress. I'm hoping to release this creation soon to the workshop for all of you to use and enjoy. Here's how this major update looks in the Steam workshop, and pretty much what the developers have said is that the ocean spills will leave a layer on the ocean surface. You can clean it, pump it in, and filter it with the new water oil separators. And then it'll move over time based on the current across the ocean surface. They've introduced missions that will involve cleaning up the oil, as well as added the fact that ships and pipelines that are damaged can leak oil and create environmental disasters that you get to clean up. So it sounds like it adds a pretty big scope to the game, which is cool. Lastly, they added some drilling updates for the oil. They added a little pivot clamp connector to make it easy to hold on to the rods. So we'll see how that works. Lastly, there's some Lua updates, and here it just explains what was done. So great job to the developers. Here are the two new parts that were added. Obviously the small one is the little clamp end for the rods. We'll see how that works in a second. And then this levitating one is the separator. And you could see here that we have on this side a fluid in. Down here we have a fluid out. And on the bottom right there is another fluid out for dense fluid. And on top is where you apply the torque. So it's a fairly nice size unit. It seems that we could put it into like a back of a truck or a semi, or on a trailer, for example, as well as on a small ship or boat. So seems pretty useful. Let's see how they actually work in practicality. So the way the drill clamp works is it says moving drill rods into place. So let's lay it down here. We'll just add a toggle button, and we'll add a battery for our toggle button. The button itself will activate the clamp when it's pressed, and the electric is attached there. So let's show how this works. So when you press the button, it clamps onto the little clamp end, and it has like it's not attached in a straight line. It can move or pivot, so you obviously can't hold on to rods from the bottom, otherwise they're going to fall over. But the idea is, I'm sure if you have this little thing attached to like a crane track above, it can probably move these things pretty efficiently from a major warehouse, for example, with a lot of cramped aisles. You could use this thing to pick it up and drag it like in a vertical upright position to where you need it to be, and then you just release it and it falls off. So fairly useful little thing. I could see a lot of application for it for the oil drilling platforms and oil rigs, obviously, as well as transportation. So we'll see how people use it. Now on to this one. I ended up making this to test our separator. All it is this large tank here consisting of diesel, jet fuel, and seawater. Now you could see the oil is being mixed out of or created from the diesel and jet fuel. It's going to be pumped in through here. We're turning it on with that button. We're going to turn up the throttle for that large motor. We don't need a large one, so I even determined that all you need is a medium. And now here we have this fluid out and dense fluid out down here. I put these valves because I want to control when I turn it on to see if it gives us different results. But here we are, we got this, and funny enough, I used an old filter here to only allow seawater and oil to come in. So even if we have jet fuel and diesel, that will not be entering into the separator. What's fun fact or interesting is that that old fluid filter can probably replace the need for the separator, because you can have a system that just uses these filters to pump through oil and water and separate them. And that's what we're doing in that pipeline inspection truck, if you guys watched that video. So I mean, they had to do something. Maybe they found out that they were going to be releasing this, so then they decided to remove the old filter. But that old filter is invaluable for all sorts of things in this game, so I do still use it all the time. Now, it seems that we've separated enough of this. Let's turn on the pump and turn on the throttle. So now you can see we're pumping in and we're giving it full throttle. Now what I don't know is the following. So right now we're not letting anything leave because these are closed. I'm going to turn off the pump, and now I'm going to turn this valve. So presumably we let it spin for some time. Let's release this, and we get ourselves oil and some seawater. Okay, let's release this one. We're getting pure seawater. Okay, that's good to know. So that's what they said. It needs to go through a couple of iterations. But now in theory, we close this. Let's pump in some more of this fluid. Once it's full, the reason I'm doing it in stages, I probably don't have to, but I don't want to add more of the dirty stuff in. But in theory, I mean, let's just try. Let's just leave these open and let this work. So you see that the seawater level is increasing, because presumably the efficiency of the spinning or whatever isn't maximized. Maybe it is just the set ratio that's always going to be like that, but here you can see we got seawater. So in theory, the heavy one, or whatever, the dense fluid out is going to contain oil, whereas the regular fluid out is pure seawater. So if we had this on a boat, this one would be directly bumped back into the water. Like, there's no need to take it back with us to port, whereas this, it still needs some processing, but at least now we're not dragging along with us a full tank of water and diesel, or rather oil, but now we've sort of separated it, and then when we get to port, we could either have a second stage separation tank. So here we have it. We've actually, I mean, it's still ongoing here and here. Not sure why it stopped. So, I mean, obviously this system's glitchy, but regardless, it proves the point. So the dense one is oil and seawater, whereas the regular fluid out is just seawater. So that is a good application now for us to take and put into a vessel. How this all looks in practicality is you have your booms or arms that can collect the oil, and if we look around us, do we see any oil? Not quite. So here we have an oil spill right there floating on the water. And it does bob in and out, and it does move with the current, so it does create a bit of a interesting approach to solve this problem, but here we have it. So in theory, with this vessel, you could either drive through it, or you could just do this. So now let's do collect oil. So we're pumping in the spill around us. Now, just so you have an idea what this looks like, it creates like a dark patch in the water, and it is kind of visible from a distance, so it's not bad, but it is useful to be in a vessel that you could follow it, because see, it's getting away from us now. And we're going to run out of space in our tanks. So you gotta sort of be on it. Obviously, if it's a massive spill, then it's different. But let's process the oil. Recirculate. So pretty much now we're running the... Beneath us is the separator. and we're pumping it in with these pumps and hopefully processing it. I don't have a working dial on this ship, but you could see the number of dirty oil is coming in. Now where is our spill? Unless we fully cleaned it up. That'd be nice. Maybe we did fully clean it up. So clearly this system works pretty decently. It kind of sweeps the area. Oh, there it is. Unless that's another spill. I just went ahead and spawned a bunch of spills for the sake of expediency for this tutorial. Are we still collecting oil? Yeah, we are. Nice. Anyway, that's how this update works. Honestly, really cool update. Thanks to the developers for making such an awesome game. I hope that everyone enjoys it and to see some cool creations for this. And like always, happy Stormworksing, everyone.